today I'm joining you from the city of Krakow in Poland. This is my first time in Poland. I've been wanting to come here for years and years, but it just never happened. I arrived here yesterday and I immediately fell in love with the city. It's just stunning. It's so lively as well. And I guess the weather is also helping because it was very sunny yesterday. I'm loving it so far. The food is amazing. And I swear it just smells of bread everywhere I go. So it's around 9 o'clock now and I'm about to head out and go to explore a little bit more of the old city center. Hopefully it's not going to be as crowded as it was yesterday because I only explored in the afternoon and it was really, really busy. So I'm hoping I can take some photos now without the crowds that I saw yesterday. But I have the morning to explore here a little bit and then I'm actually heading to Auschwitz in the afternoon. The city was just waking up. It was quiet, it was peaceful, so I walked around, taking my time to do some photography and to admire the incredible architecture I was surrounded with. You really have to look closely at the buildings and see how much detail and care was put into it. Sometimes I wish we still did this in our buildings nowadays, to be honest. Krakow is very special in the sense that when you step in here, you're basically traveling in time. The layout of the city remained unchanged since medieval times. You're basically walking on the same streets our medieval ancestors have walked on, which is incredible and you can really feel it. The reason why you can still see today such a beautiful city with so well preserved buildings and streets is precisely because, unlike other Polish big cities, Krakow was spared of bombing during the Second World War. This does not mean, though, that these walls, these streets, didn't witness some of the most horrendous acts of cruelty humans are capable of. And I'll definitely get to that just in a bit. Just pausing for a second to acknowledge there is no easy way to transition to this section of my video and to this part of my visit. I didn't film too much, so I'm just going to leave some images in here from my visit to the concentration camps without any commentary, because I don't think it actually needs any. If you're interested about my thoughts and reflections upon my visit to Auschwitz, I wrote them down on my blog. Head there if you're curious. salt mines of Velishka were discovered in the early 13th century. It quickly became an economic asset for the Polish crown. Back then, salt was incredibly valuable to the point that it was known as the white gold. You visit the mines in a group tour, and the guide that I had was exceptional, explaining everything there was to know about the mines, how it evolved throughout the centuries. Visiting the mines was an absolute highlight of my trip. Look at this beautiful cathedral made completely out of salt. Yes, these chandeliers, the artwork on the walls, the altar, it's all sculpted in salt. I had no idea you could make such beautiful things out of the seasoning that I put on my food every day. You can even lick the walls if you want, and because salt is antiseptic, you don't have to worry about any bacteria. I still felt a little bit grossed out about doing that, so I didn't do it. My next stop was Oskar Schindler's Animal Factory. This is probably the top attraction in Krakow, so make sure you book your tickets well in advance online. The factory itself is now transformed into a museum where you can learn about Krakow during the war and of course a little bit about the life of Oskar Schindler himself. Absolutely recommend you watch Schindler's List, the movie by Steven Spielberg from 1993. It goes over the story behind the Schindler's List and a little bit into the character of Oskar Schindler himself. This is a very simple and haunting memorial to the Jewish that were displaced to the ghetto. You see chairs in here because a lot of those Jewish families brought all of their furniture, and then they realized the flats they had been given were tiny and had to be shared with many other families, so they ended up throwing their furniture into this little plaza. As you can tell, this face, this hair, I am exhausted. It's almost 5 o'clock now and I just got back to my hotel room and I don't think I'm gonna leave. I think this evening I'm gonna give myself some time to rest. Yesterday I explored a little bit the old town in the morning and then in the afternoon I went to Auschwitz. Of course, I don't need to say it's not an easy visit. It's very emotionally heavy. I am about to head out to join a walking tour in the old town of Krakow. I always enjoy joining these walking tours. They are typically called free walking tours, but at the end of the tour, you're obviously supposed to pay whatever you feel the tour was worth. I'm excited because this is a great way for you to learn about the history of the town. They typically always point out interesting facts and funny stories. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Was over, I was observing the local traditions when it comes to Easter. This was Holy Saturday, so you would see adults and children carrying small baskets. The baskets will be covered with beautiful white cloth, And inside the baskets they will have eggs, sausage, salt, cake, bread, basically things that symbolize the arrival of spring. All of these baskets will be also beautifully decorated with Easter symbols, and they will take these baskets to church to be basically blessed by the priest. Then on Sunday morning, you do what is known as great breakfast. Basically, for Easter, you share the blessed food with everyone in your family. Easter Sunday was my last day in Krakow. I was flying out that same afternoon, so I still had the morning and I decided to do the Jewish walking tour. That was incredibly interesting. The guide was just brilliant, and I didn't film a lot because I had already passed through a lot of the same locations, but it was just so interesting to revisit them, having the background and the history the guide was providing me with. This was everything from Krakow. I absolutely love the city. I recommend it as a quick weekend break if you live in Europe. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. And if you did, give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.